Good day to you all. I'm going to be needing a lot of coffee today. It is about 8 o'clock in the morning and it is, hopefully I'm going to get this video up before Halloween, but I don't know. It's not looking good. I started out already with a clean face, and I just took some eyeliner in just a nude color and traced out where I want my lines to be. And now that I have that set, this is just a makeup brush, a regular one, but I don't want to ruin my bristles, so I'm using the end. And I'm dipping that in liquid latex. And I'm going to drag that along the lines I've just created. I very much recommend, if you're doing this look, to have a shirt, like I'm just wearing a stained up old t-shirt and I've got my wig pinned back so I don't get any latex on it. You definitely can do this look with scar wax, which would be awesome, except scar wax is the devil and I hate it. And it is a nightmare to work with, especially when you have nails. So we are doing this with liquid latex. Be very careful when you're working with liquid latex to not get it in your hair, or just plan on losing that bit of hair. Around your nose and any areas around your mouth that you're doing, I recommend getting it a little bit wider of a line. Don't keep it too thin, because the more latex you have on your skin, the better it'll help adhere, especially when you're talking, eating. I mean, ideally you're going out on Halloween with this look, so you want to make sure that it stays on all night. You'll know it's dry when it becomes transparent. Alright, so after you've got about a million layers of liquid latex on your face, you want to let that dry thoroughly before you start the next step of cutting into it. So I am going to push pause here and go chill out for about 5 minutes while this dries. Alright, so now that we're mostly dry, get either toothpick works really good. I have very sharp scissors. If you're using very sharp scissors, be very careful with your very sharp scissors. I am also telling myself this because I'm super clumsy. And with those super sharp scissors, I'm going to take and just start slicing the middle of each line that we just created till I get an opening. And once you get a little opening, you can get the scissors in there and start cutting. Oh, I almost forgot. Before you start cutting, I almost forgot. Don't forget, like I just almost did, take some powder and powder over it really good. The reason why is because once you start cutting into it, the latex will actually start sticking to itself. So if you've got a really good powder down, it keeps the folds separated and they don't bunch up as much. Definitely glad I remembered that. Shoo! Back to cutting your face off. So I went ahead and added a little bit more latex right underneath here where my birthmark is, since that spot lifted off, and I'm just kind of moving my face around to see if there's anywhere else that feels loose on the edges so that I can tack them down a little bit better before we start with the foundation. I thought I hit record, but maybe I didn't, so just in case, I'm repeating what I just did. I took my Tarte CC cream. It is a cream, very pink under eye color corrector, and I just took and put that right along the edge where the latex meets my skin to help blend out that line, so when I put the foundation on top of it, it's not as hard to blend that line. I'm going to wait to do these. My idea is a patchwork of skin, so I want each little section to be completely different. So I'm going to start, these are the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation samples. I got this with my last Sephora order, and there's like 6 colors in here that will never work for my skin, so I'm just going to use those. I'm cheating. Not really. I'm smartly cheating because it's easier. So I'm going to take the palest shade on my Real Technique sponge, just a little bit, and start in the section that I already have dry over here. And I'm actually going to be using a concealer brush to get right there on those lines. Alright, next I'm going to go in with a much darker shade. This is shade Fearless. It's very dark for me. And I'm going to go in on this other side right over here and apply that same way as we did the other one. Oh, that looks weird. It's tripping me out. Okay, so now for this other section here, I want to do an in-between shade. So I'm going to actually mix some of that first shade and the one we just used in there. And I'm just getting that on really thick at first, and then I'll tap it out with my Real Techniques brush. I mean sponge, not brush. I'm just kind of lightly blending that in the same pattern as the other skin. I'm going to take some of my e.l.f. Clear Translucent Setting Powder and just set my whole face. Alright, so now that we've fully set our face, now here comes the fun part where we get to start adding the gore. I'm going to be using my Mehron Bruise Wheel, and I'm going to be focusing on the colors red, blue, and brown for this brown for this look, because I want to just get that skin really inflamed looking around the edges. So I'm going to take just a very light hand with this, and I'm actually going to be using my fluffy shader brush for this. You want to, if you use a soft brush, you get kind of more of a light bruising effect. And I'm going to start with the red and just start working that around the edges. Don't worry about it looking blotchy or anything at this point. You just want to get the red on, and then we will go in and blend that out. Now that we have the red on, I'm going to go in with some blue and do the same thing and just randomly start stippling that on. If you don't have any cream-based paints for this, like the Bruise Wheel or something else from your Halloween store, you can definitely do this with eyeshadows. I recommend, if you are using eyeshadow, spritz your face with a setting spray when you're done so that it doesn't look too powdery when you're done. I'm going to take a fine pointed brush. Just any tiny little brush will do, an eyeliner brush, whatever you have. I'm going to actually find one that's a little bit smaller. Where'd it go? Here we go. This one's a little bit more flexible too. And get a dark, if you don't have the Bruise Wheel, you just use eyeshadow. But just a dark blue or purple. I'm going to be using a mixture of the blue and the brown and dragging that inside the wound that we're creating. So you just want to kind of start where the flaps are separated and shade inside of there so that it highlights those flaps and you can tell that they are more raised. It really starts coming together. I love this part. This is like when what's in your head starts becoming a reality. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit of that blue and just kind of trace along this edge here that we created. Now that we've got that filled in, now for reals we were taking our fresh scab blood. So again, Bid Nye Fresh Scab Blood, and I'm going to use, if you have a thin brush you can use the end of that, but you want to use something that's smaller. I have, if I can find it, where the crap did it just go? Okay, well I just went and grabbed it, but now I can't find it. So, alright, well, using something small, I'm going to use the end of my little eyeshadow brush since I can't find my little spatula. This stuff is very gel-like, so if you kind of just whip it around in there and get a nice good coating on the end of whatever you're using. And we're going to start just pushing that into the wound. Found it! Shoot! Alright. Found my little spatula. I like the spatula because it has a pointed side to it, so I can use it to lift and push it in there. All right, my camera battery is about ready to die, so I'm going to try to hurry and get this done. Thank you guys so much for watching. So all I did off camera was some mascara, brows in 2 different shades, and a little bit of lip, and that's it. Braided my little wig, and now I have my voodoo leather face doll complete. Whatever you want to name this look. I'm going to call her, let's see, I'm going to call her my Patchwork Doll. Call her Patchwork Doll. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and this is what I am actually going to be for Halloween. So happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you guys had a great night and stayed safe. Love you. Thank you. Please remember to thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video. Love you. Bye.